Okay. So today we are going to discuss about circles. First of all, the most simplest case I will introduce. Now, if you have a circle like this, okay, if you have a circle like that, and the circle center is the origin of the Cartesian system. Center origin is uh, the origin is the circle center is the origin of the Cartesian system. Then how do you write a equation for a circle? Consider a point here, and the coordinate you can say x and y. Then you can have this right angle triangle, right? Suppose the radius is r. If the radius is r, using Pythagoras theorem, you can write x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared, right? So now for this system, this is the equation of the circle. Okay, equation of the circle. Now, if you extend knowledge, now you can have a system. Your circle is here, which is called off-centered. Okay, this is an off-centered circle. Your x-axis is this, y is here. Now, consider the origin of the center of the circle to be PQ. Okay, so that would be PQ. And the radius of this circle would be R. Then what would be the equation for this circle, right? So this is the most general case. The first one I introduced was is a special case. You can understand it's just a Pythagoras theorem. Now for this case, what would be your equation? I'm going to modify this. Still, I'm going to do the Pythagoras theorem, but your coordinate and your dimensions are different now. So now your x would be x minus p now. Okay. And your y distance would be y minus q, right? And that would be r squared. Now, if you simplify this, you all know it's just bracket simplification. So it would be plus p squared minus 2px plus y squared q squared minus 2qy is equal to r squared. Now, you are going to collect the similar order terms, x squared, then y squared. So then the similar order term, x to the power 1, right? The next one. So minus 2px. Here it would be minus 2qy. Then the constant terms plus p squared plus q squared is equal to r squared. Right. So likewise, you can simplify this. So now this will be this, or this will be the equation for this circle. Now we will try to deduce the simplest case, what I introduced here, from the most general case, right? So this is the most general um, general equation for a circle, right? Most general equation for a circle. Let P comma Q to be 0, 0. So now I hope you understand what I'm doing. I'm transforming this PQ, like this point, to that. Okay. In other words, I'm mapping this PQ towards the center of the, towards the origin of the Cartesian system. Now, if P and Q is 0 and 0, if you deduce this from here or here, doesn't matter, right? So if P is 0 and Q is 0, eventually you will get x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. Okay. Now this is what you are going to get. So note, equation of a circle would be x minus x naught squared plus y minus y naught squared is equal to r squared. Okay, so this is not a big deal. X naught, y naught would be the coordinate of a given point. Okay, so this is what we learned. Now, we will try to extend this idea and try to split this system in quadrant wise. You will understand what I'm saying here. So we will take the special case. Okay, let x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. So after understanding this, I will teach you how to extend this idea to the most general case. Okay, so this is going to be very easy. Now, how many variables you have here? You have two variables, right? Y and x. R is the radius. Typically, it's a constant value, right? Now, what I can do here, I can subject x squared from here. That would be r squared minus y squared. From there, I can find x, which is r squared minus y squared, square root, and plus and minus. Don't forget that. So that will tell you there are two equations for x, which is r squared minus y squared positive value and r squared minus y squared negative value. Similarly, you can subject y squared, which is r squared minus x squared. From there, you can find y, which is r squared minus x squared, square root, plus and minus. Now, you can write in the similar way I wrote here, r squared minus x squared, square root, plus value. Then the other one would be r squared minus x squared minus value. So now if you look at this is not a big deal, right? So you have the equation, of a circle, and you have two variables x and y. R is a constant. So what you did, first you subject x, secondly you subject y. So that is what you did. Now because it's a quadratic statement, so definitely you should have plus and minus values, right? So now I will say this is case number 1, where I subject x squared, right, which is r squared minus y squared. So from here, I got two values, r squared minus y squared square root, the positive value, and the negative value. So I will take this as my case number 1. Okay. Now, you can see, if you look at this, okay, the way I have formulated this, here the independent variable would be y, dependent variable would be x. Now you have to remember, typically independent variable is denoted by x, dependent variable is denoted by y, right? But you have to understand this x and y are just dummy variables. Okay, so you can say x is Michael, y is Jackson. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now here your y would be your independent variable, your x would be your dependent variable, right? All goes with the logic. Okay, now here this would be your independent variable, this would be your dependent variable. Okay, so in other words, what I'm saying, this dependent variable, you can say this is a x is a function of y, right? So that's a actual meaning. X, you can say x is a function of y here, right? In that case, so x is changing respect to y, so y becomes the independent variable and x of x becomes the dependent variable. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now let me draw the circle. Okay, let me draw the circle. Now we will try to understand what we are talking about. Now I'll use a different color here. Now first of all, I will take the plus solution. Now x is a function of, please look at this, x is a function of y, right? So what is changing now? Y is changing, right? Y is changing here. As a result, you get x. Y is changing, you get x. Now from here you will understand all the x values are positive. See, all the x values are positive, right? Because square root, the minimum value for a square root would be 0 here, right? Under this condition. So all the values of x would be positive. So x positive direction would be this direction, right? You can see this direction. So x positive is this direction. All of these are x positive. See, you can see my cursor. All of these are x positive. Now we have to understand now what is independent variable. Independent variable would be y. Now y is changing, so y can change like this. You can see my cursor. Y can change like this. Y can be positive, y can be negative. When y goes to positive, you have to see x positive values. When y goes to negative, still you have to see x positive value because of this positive, right? So this equation talks about this part. This one would be r squared minus y squared positive value. I hope you understand. Now let's go to the second. Now let's go to the second equation. Now you can see x, because of this minus sign, x is negative. X is negative. So negative x is this. So negative x is this. Okay. Now again, what is independent variable? Y is the independent variable. So y is changing. Y can change from 0 to positive and 0 to negative. So when y is changing 0 to positive, x is negative this way, this area. When y is changing from 0 to negative, when y goes that way, so we are still talking about the negative x, right? So that means that equation shows you this. So the equation of this half circle, right, would be minus r squared minus y squared. Okay. Any questions? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So now, let me talk about the case 2, right? So I talked about 4 cases, right? So case 2. So in case 2, what we have subjected was y, right? So we got y squared, r squared minus x squared, right? So this is what we got. Then we got 2 solutions. Y is equal to plus, oh, this is wrong. What I did was wrong here. Okay, so, okay, this. Then y would be r squared minus x squared, right? The second solution minus value of that, r squared minus x squared. Now, by looking at this, you can understand now this x is acting as the independent variable. This y is acting as the dependent variable, right? Independent variable, so dependent variable. Now, you can see, similar to the previous one, y as a function of y is a function of x, right? You can see x is the independent variable. Here, again, y is a function of x. Okay, good. Now, we will try to draw this one. Okay, so we will try to draw this one. If you draw this, you will see this is your Cartesian, and I'll use a different color. Now, first equation, y is positive. Y is positive. Look at this. Y is positive. So y positive is this area, right? All of this. You can see my cursor. Now, what is my independent variable? X. X is my independent variable. So x can go from negative, theoretically from negative infinity to positive infinity. So x can be from here to there, there to there, right? So when x is changing from negative infinity to positive infinity, the y value remains positive, right? So that means you understand we are talking about this. We are talking about this. So that would be your r squared minus x squared. Then this one, you understand, that would be the opposite one, right? I hope I don't have to explain it. It goes with the same explanation. So this one would be negative r squared minus x squared. Okay. So now this is very easy, right? Overall, what we have learned, okay? Overall, what we have learned. Overall, what we have learned was this. If I want to consider this half, okay? Now this is x direction, positive x direction. See, look at my logic. Positive x direction. What is changing? Y is changing. Why? Look how I'm drawing it. See, I'm drawing it like that. So basically, I'm going from this point to that point. See, I'm going on the y-axis, right? So this one would be, so y would be my independent variable, x would be my dependent variable, and I'm in the positive side. So that would be, x would be positive r squared minus y squared. See, that's how you create the logic. So once you have that, this would be obvious. Okay, minus. Okay, so that's all for that. Now, when you go here, if I want to move from here to there, this point to this point, now you can understand I'm going from this point to this point. That means I'm going on the x-axis, right? I'm going on the x-axis. So now you understand your x would be your independent variable, and your y is always in the positive direction. See, this is positive, right? This is positive, it's negative. So your y is your dependent variable. So here y is positive r squared minus x. That's how you do that. Now, when it comes to the bottom part, this would be the opposite of that, right? Minus square root r squared minus x squared. Okay. So in general, this is what we have done so far. Okay. And if you understand this, you understood the material. And that's all about circles. That's all about circles. But I will extend this knowledge for for the general case, right? And then that's the end of this lesson. Now, one thing I need to emphasize, we derived this x and two x values and two y values for a special case where the circle center is at the origin of the Cartesian system, 0, 0. The center is at the origin. Center is at the origin, right? So now we will try to understand a situation where the center is not at the origin. Okay, where the center is not at the origin, right? Now, for the general case, okay, for the general case, the equation would be x minus p squared plus y minus q squared is equal to r squared, right? So now here I will subject x first. So x minus p squared. Here I'm showing you all the steps so that you're not going to lose anything. Y minus q squared, right? So then how do you find x here? So you can directly say x would be square root of that one, r squared minus y minus q. Why I put that minus up there? So y minus q whole thing squared plus and minus, right? Plus and minus. Then this p you have to bring to the right hand side. So minus p becomes positive p. So the answer would be that. Okay. So in this situation, you have two solutions. The first solution, positive solution, would be this. Negative solution would be this. Okay. Then similarly, if you subject y, okay, so now math is all about pattern recognition, right? So that would be plus and minus r squared x minus p squared square root, and here what you should have, q. Okay, math is all about pattern recognition. So the positive solution would be q plus r squared minus, sorry, r squared, yeah, minus should be there, minus x minus p squared square root. The negative solution, q minus r squared minus x minus p squared square root. Okay, so now this would be my case number 1. This would be my case number 2, right? So now in the next diagram, I will show you, I will do 2 diagrams here so that I can finish this in one shot. Okay. Now here, my origin, right, my center of the circle is at PQ. PQ, right? Now, if I'm talking about this half circle, what would be my equation? Now, how do you understand that? Go look at this logic. I'm going along the x-axis. See, so x-axis would be my dependent variable. My values are coming in y, right? So y would be your dependent variable, and that is in the positive side, right? So that is in the positive side. So you have to understand this should be q plus because it's in the positive side, right? So then r squared minus x minus p squared square root. Now you can see I'm writing it from my brain, right? Even I'm not looking at the previous note. Why? Because I could formulate this in my head knowing the facts. Okay, y is this, y is my dependent variable, then x is my independent variable. So x is at p location. See, so x minus p, it shouldn't be x minus q, right? Makes sense. Then q is with y. It's like y translation. You can see, look, this is y. It's like y translation. So always q with y, right? So I'm writing it with that logic. Now, what about this? So this, again, y negative, x is your independent variable because x is changing, y is your dependent variable, right? So what I will do, and that would be the opposite of this one, right? The other part of that. So q minus r squared minus x minus p squared. So if you can write it in this way, right? For the most general case, the way I'm producing it, I think you are there. Okay. Now think about this. From this point to this point, I'm going to consider this part. Okay. So here, now we will think, right, from scratch. What is my independent variable? Look at this. This is, I'm going from this point to that point. So my independent variable would be y. Then what would be my dependent variable? Of course, it should be x now, right? So you have to write it in terms of x. Now you understand x is in the left-hand side. See, x is in the left-hand side. That means x should be negative, right? See how I'm logically constructing it. So x is with p, right? So then p should be here because x cannot be with q. And that is in the negative side, I put negative here, right? Because I have some experience now. Now you guys have experience. You know how it looks like. So you don't have to do it from the scratch. You have to, look at the pattern and do, right? Then this one would be r squared minus y is always with q. That done, easy. Then when it comes to the positive side, positive side is the other solution of this one, right? But we can argue again, your independent variable would be y, your dependent variable would be x, and it's in the x positive direction. So answer obviously should be x is equal to p plus answer, right? R squared minus y minus q square, the square root of it. Okay. So I hope you understood it, and that's all about that chapter, Gallery of Graphs. Fourth chapter is done. The last part was circular functions, circles, and then semicircles. Already we have discussed. Okay. So, any questions?